All right, you're welcome back, of course. Let's start to roll now. One of the major issues that have been affecting the country, and that's corruption. And one of the cardinal points as well of the administration, President Muhammadu Buhari lauded the efforts of the anti-graft agencies in recovery of looted funds.
Yes, indeed. Well, the president says the anti-corruption drive of his administration and policies put in place are yielding results. According to him, Nigeria has saved 200 billion naira from the elimination of 52,000 ghost workers from the civil service, while the Treasury single account, that's the TSA, has realized billions of naira.
The second primary object of this administration is to fight corruption headlong. Like I have always said, if we don't kill corruption, corruption will destroy the country. 3 years in this administration, Nigerians and the international community have begun to upload our policies and determination to fight corruption. We are more than ever before determined to win this war, however hard the road is.
All right, of course, the President, Muhammadu Buhari, of course, trying to laud the efforts that have been made so far in fighting corruption.
Absolutely.
But we have Dr. Dana Kerry, a lecturer at the Philosophy Department of UNILAG, here in the studio with us. Thank you very much indeed, Dr. Dan. Well, we heard the President talk about some of the measures that have been taken by the administration to curb corruption. But first, let us, start. I want to start by asking what you think, what has just happened to Julie Jame will do to the fight against corruption.
Well, thank you. The issue of corruption in Nigeria is one issue that you cannot but discuss, because in practically every segment and every facet you have issues that bother on corruption. Well, just today we've read in the papers that a former governor is going to jail. Then you have many others. The FCC has told us that they have,
recovered.
Not just recovered now, that they have even sentenced over 603, how many people to jail over corruption, and that they've recovered over 500 billion naira, and a lot of it. Now the president has equally, mentioned the same, that there are strategies in place to fight corruption and all the rest. I applaud the effort. At least he has the determination. Whether sincerely or otherwise, from what we have seen, at least there is something to show that there is a determination to fight corruption. But I don't know whether, the media can still replay some of those campaign clips, where we were told that the over 150 billion naira dollars,
yes,
has been stolen and is going to be recovered, and 500 billion naira compared to 150 billion dollars. Although it's something, but I think it's a far cry from,
like you want to say it's less than a drop in the ocean.
Yes, exactly, because they gave us the impression that we had over $150 billion stashed in foreign accounts. It means that they would have done their homework to, to ascertain those figures. And part of it equally was the Abacha loot, which is still being denied, whether there was anything, and yet monies are recovered from him and all of that. Now, but strategically, I'm still wondering, beyond the EFCC, what has this government really put in place to checkmate corruption?
Well, the government has just ruled out the TSA. The
TSA was equally part of
weeding out of,
but it has been implemented by this government. But again, the same TSA, they've told us that over 52,000 ghost workers have been eliminated. So who were the people collecting the money?
Okay,
because
so the question is,
money from, so you begin
do
to
you
address
agree
all the
with
issues.
people who say that the war against corruption has become corrupted, if not corrupt in itself?
In fact, the war against corruption is one way of corruption too. Because in the course of corruption, don't forget that we heard of, is it Ibrahim Lamode, they call him also.
The former
EFCC chairman,
boss,
who was eventually accused of, issues of corruption. We never can tell what will happen to Magu when he leaves. you know, because most times when you are on the seat, nothing happens.
I asked that question because just a few weeks ago,
yes.
Was it Transparency International that came out with a damning report saying that under this administration, right on his watch, that corruption continues, impunity is on the rise, and every negative thing that you would say that this government actually came to fight, it is also guilty of.
Yeah. Particularly the issue of, security votes. That is one very major aspect, of corruption. An account that can never be audited. Nobody can tell what,
Nobody's
those funds
able to explain it.
You just allocate funds. And meanwhile, this security vote is not meant to pay your security attaché. You have security details that are still being paid from, the federal post. For the states, they are still being paid from the state post, and yet you have security votes. So what that vote is meant for is something I cannot really, tell. I can't understand. Whether it is meant for you to, just...
Jamboree.
I mean, I really don't understand. Because
and then you have the constituency
projects. Well, that one is not even... Now, look at it from the point of view of the executive first. If you have security votes, I expect that you should pay your security details with that vote. But that's not what is happening. Nobody accounts for it. And for us to, ordinarily I expected that a government that is actually so focused on fighting corruption, looking at that particular angle, would have been able to take a different step, to do something different. At least for Nigerians to be very convinced that truly this is a transparent government. But that is not to say that they are not doing anything, except that they narrowed the understanding of corruption to politicians, fighting political office holders. What has been done to the civil service? Because that is one major, source of corruption. The civil service, source of corruption. The civil service.
Yeah, people describe it as the engine room of corruption. Yeah,
they are the ones that know the how and what. Yes, everything.
The loopholes.
Have you forgotten the era of the Adenike Grange also?
Yes.
Then Fabian Osuji's and the rest. You see, it was a function of the civil service. So we need to really find out what has been put in place to actually address this, to reform the civil service. Until that is done, you will only be chasing shadows.
Well, Dan, it is good you were bringing that point, because I was going to also ask that question. Beyond putting measures in place to curb corruption, to curtail it, do you think that the major issue, the major cause of corruption is being addressed? Are we addressing it? Because I'll give you an instance. When you are an employer of labor, you have members of staff, you don't take good care of them, you don't care about their welfare. What are you not creating a fertile ground for corruption, for people to be corrupt?
Yeah, you can look at it from two ways. All right? Two ways in the sense that, yes,
we have, sorry, you have labor, Nigerian workers asking to increase minimum wage.
Yes.
The minimum wage itself is not enough.
That's correct.
And then when you don't address that, are you not still leaving ground for individuals to be corrupt?
Yes, that is why I say we can look at it from two ways. There's a possibility that when you are not well paid, you want to cut corners in order for you to survive and to meet your needs. So that tendency is there, that because the pay is mean, is so small, you might want to, do the funny things that could make you survive, which we now call corruption. But at the same time, too, there are ways that some persons, even in spite of the hardship, will not want to dent their name, will not want to go the other way, depending on the training they've had over time. So you have the issue of values, be truncated. You have the issue of what are the values we even can say that these are
what do we stand for as a people?
As a country? Because in the course of training, some of these things were actually instilled into so many people in time past.
Yeah.
And they imbibe those things that, in spite of, what have you, they will never, for any reason, want to go into, the other angle of trying to cut corners in order to survive in the name of not well paid. However, that is a ground as well, because where I am unable to meet my daily needs and I have to survive, obviously something has to be done. One thing has to give way for the other. So we need to address all of this from, you know, a very holistic perspective, from the point of view of trying to, you know, instill pristine values in our people by way of training, so that it becomes part of the, just like the Bible said that you need to bring up a child, train a child the way
so
he
that
go.
when he grows up, he will not depart from it. You know what, Dr. Danekere, let's put you on hold. We'll get more points as to how really Nigeria can fight the war against corruption effectively. When we come back from this break, stay with us.
All right. Well, I was given all right, Dan. I understand that we'll have to let
counter instruction.
Okay. At the moment.
Oh,
yeah.
okay.
Yes.
Okay. All right. Thank you very much. Then we'll have to leave it there, Dr. Danekere, for your time. Always.
Thank you.